Enough is enough! I have had it with these snakes on this
Coaster. Nobody likes snakes. If you do, I don't know, there's something wrong with you.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
I'll tell you one thing, when it comes to the Viper, you have two superfans. One of them is Six Flags, obviously, and the other, weirdly, is England. If you're trying to scare people, you probably want to either go with the Viper or the Cobra. And the Cobra is well represented too. But today, let's focus on the Viper. If you wanted to be factual, you would name your ride the Inland Taipan, the world's deadliest snake. But nobody would name their coaster after the... Oh, well, good on you, Australia. If anyone would know about terrifying and deadly creatures, it's you. Roller coaster track is long and wraps around itself like a snake, so Viper is a great name for a coaster. Over the years, we've seen 17 coasters don the name, but which Viper does the Vipering the best? This is Viper versus Viper versus Viper versus... Yep, it's one of those videos. Before we dive into the Viper Pit, if you can drop this video a like, I'd appreciate it. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. There are two coasters that had the Viper name and ditched it, so let's toss out some theories why they would give up such an awesome name. The first one is Family Coaster at Play Village in South Korea. This intimate family coaster opened in 1995 and it was called Viper for about 10 years. This changed names when the park changed names, from Dugoland to Play Village. Dugoland means something, I don't know what, but maybe they wanted the name to be more family friendly and less menacing. But if you look at the sign, whoops, there's your Viper, still there, waiting to strike. The other one is Slytherin at London Castle in Scotland. This opened as Viper in 2002 and only lasted 3 seasons. In 2004, it was renamed Slytherin. Then it was packed up and shipped off to a park in Italy. This is still open today with a dinosaur theme. Why did they change it from Viper to what a Viper does, I don't know. Maybe they were trying to play off the Harry Potter theme. Those movies were so popular at the time, so maybe. I don't know why parks do things. I may act like I do, but I don't. In 15th and last place, we have Vulture at La Ronde, and this coaster never actually opened, but I hate it so much it's on here anyway. This was just the worst coaster ever built, getting sent over to La Ronde in 2020. Rethemed from Green Lantern to Viper, or Vulture as it is in French, and I kinda like the retheme. This park had a stand-up coaster called Cobra that closed in 2016, so they figured, why not have another snake-themed green coaster that nobody likes? Maybe they watched some YouTube videos explaining how bad this ride is and they killed the project. But anyway, the world's worst coaster gets last place. Duh. In 14th place, we have Viper at Six Flags Great Adventure, another coaster with a god-awful reputation. I think Togo had something against America. They're not that bad of a manufacturer, but their stuff in America has just been embarrassing. This opened in 1995, and they even added steel rings around the track to give it more of a snake-like appearance. That worked. It does look like a snake, but it didn't make the ride any better. Some of those mid-90s coasters, they just weren't good. Imagine being excited to get a new coaster, and this is what it turns out to be. This lasted 10 long seasons, and then it was torn out for El Toro. Needless to say, quite the upgrade. Bull crushes snake, but Blackjack tames bull. In 13th place, we have Veranzo Viper at Fantasy Shore Amusement Park in Staten Island, New York. Even a little kid's coaster ranks higher than the last two. The worst thing this will do will bore you, not try and break you. This started off in Maryland as Python Pit, then Indiana as Sea Serpent, then 3 years in New York as Veranzo Viper. Not sure what Veranzo is, but this has been defunct for over 5 years now, so who cares? In 12th place, I have Sea Viper at SeaWorld Australia. First of all, I don't know anything about sea vipers, but I looked up sea snakes and they are a thing. Plus, they can be dangerous. Just one more reason to stay out of the ocean. You know, as if I needed another one. Also, look at that logo. I don't want any part of that thing. This opened in 1981 and it's your typical aero loop screw, just like Steam and Pile at Great Escape. This actually opened as Corkscrew, which is kinda weird. You would think a SeaWorld park would at least attempt a sea-themed name, and it had that name until about 2009. Then the trains were replaced, it got its new awesome name, and it served out its last 5 years with these cool looking trains. This has been scrapped, but there are a bunch of these out there. I've ridden 2 of them, and there's 5 scattered around the world. In 10th place we have a tie, because these look the same. A couple coasters from the UK, both named Viper. One at Berry Island Pleasure Park, the other at Knowsley Safari. Both of these are Cyclone Galaxies that left the park in the 2000s. You can find these anywhere and they're usually called Galaxy, or Cyclone, or some generic name. So I guess these are kinda different, even though they're also using a pretty burn name. Anyway, in 9th place is Viper at Lightwater Valley in England. This is the same coaster we talked about at the London Castle, but before it was the Harry Potter imposter, Slytherin. It was here at Lightwater Valley from 1996 to 2001. This was one of 5 Schwarzkopf City jet models built, with 2 6-car trains, a spiral lift, and a super low-to-the-ground compact layout. Like most Schwarzkopfs, this was meant to be a portable coaster. It actually looks pretty intense, so it would be cool to check out. The only one operating for sure is in France. This one was relocated, but is standing but not operating in Italy. In 8th place is Viper at Six Flags Astroworld. This started off as Six Flags St. Louis's Jet Scream, and it made its way south to Astroworld in 1989. Six Flags did a great job theming this, putting this tunnel in the first drop that looks like it smells awesome, and painting a snake on it that can only be described as a dragon, but I appreciate the effort. This died with the park in 2005 and was never relocated, but there are a few of these Schwarzkopf looping stars still out there. The only one left in America is near and dear to my heart, Frontier City's Silver Bullet. In 7th place is Black Viper at Black Mountain Resort in Poland. When you're done with your day at Energylandia and Legendia, maybe head over to this resort for a snake-themed alpine coaster. Well, it doesn't look themed at all, but who cares? Alpine coasters are fun. It's kinda short, just over 2,000 feet long. That just gives you more time to ride Lek Coaster, or Zadra, or Hyperion, or Abyssus. How did Poland get so stacked? In 6th place is La Vibora at Six Flags Over Texas. We do Vipers in all languages. Well, except the ones I don't know how to translate. From French to English to Spanish, La Vibora obviously means the Viper, and this Intamin bobsled was painted snakish colors. This was originally at Magic Mountain with a winter bobsled theme, and that's how it came to Over Texas also, but it got rethemed to fit into its Mexico and Spain area in 1995. This has no track, and some of those turns are really jarring, but that's why I love this ride. It's out of control as you roll completely free on the track. It's also insanely loud for what it's worth, but it's intimate. They know how to make coasters louder than they should be. In 5th place, I have Sea Viper at Palace Playland in Maine. Again with the Sea Viper. I really don't want to think about snakes chasing you in the water when you have to swim to get away. And given my swimming skills, that doesn't end well for me. And look at those freaking trains. That's what nightmares are made of. This looks like an old coaster, but it's actually brand new, going back to 2018. Built by Preston and Barbieri. It stands about 69 feet tall, hits 41 miles per hour, just over 1,500 feet of track. This looks like a really solid intermediate coaster. I've never been to Maine, so I don't know how it rides, if it's more of a family coaster or if it's really intense. But for a Maine coaster, this looks cool, so I'll put it top 5. Coming in 4th, I have Viper at Six Flags Over Georgia. We got another Schwarzkopf in the mix, this one being the highest ranked and the only shuttle loop. This was also called Tidal Wave at Six Flags Great America, and Grease Lightning at Kentucky Kingdom, both of which I think are kinda stupid names, so Viper wins. This had a weight drop launch, only 2 of those are still operating, one in Brazil, the other in South Africa, and this was at the park from 1995 to 2001. This died when Kentucky Kingdom was shut down after the 2009 season. Ed Hart decided to scrap this when he reopened the park in 2014, replacing it with the awesome Lightning Run. In 3rd place, we have Viper at Six Flags Darien Lake. This is one historic snake, the first coaster to feature 5 inversions when it opened in 1982. This has gone from black to green, and yes, went back to black in 2010 and has been ever since. This is one of the better old aero loopers, so despite the amount of crap that Darien Lake gets, I give them credit for keeping this running well 40 years after it opened. Well, I can vouch for at least 36 of those years. I haven't ridden this since 2018. In 2nd place, I have Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. When I was a kid, Viper was the one I always heard about. I actually thought it was just a drop, followed by 7 loops in a row. That kinda sounds like the Euthanasia coaster, so thankfully it's more than just that. This is one of those rare Aero Mega loopers, standing 188 feet tall, 7 inversions. It was seriously the hottest model out there when it opened in 1990. Some people hate this, I love it. Of all the coasters that beat me stupid and people say aren't that bad, they complain about Viper, which I think is one of the smoother coasters at Magic Mountain. 3 loops, a batwing, and 2 corkscrews. A perfect theme with a ride located in Baja Ridge. A great color scheme. I don't know how long this unpopular coaster has left in the park, but if this thing doesn't outlast Scream, I might scream. In 1st place is Viper at Six Flags Great America. The only wooden coaster on this list is one of, if not the most underrated coasters on this planet. This is just a random mirror image of the Coney Island Cyclone they built in 1995, and it turned out to be awesome. The ones the Din Corporation made turned out to be not as good, like Cyclone at Magic Mountain, which I used to ride all the time for some reason. This beat me up so bad, but I still rode it. I must have just been stupid back then. This doesn't beat you up, at least not most of the time. Maybe avoid the very last row if you can. It's a long ride with good airtime, and in a park full of popular coasters, this is kind of a hidden gem. The name Viper for a wooden coaster is kinda weird, but it is in the park's southwest territory, so it works. Wood Viper is the best Viper, though anything is better than Sea Viper. That still gives me the chills. That's a wrap on the Battle of the Vipers. I hope you enjoyed this snake pit of satire, and the one time or so a month I try to be funny. Let me know how many Vipers you've ridden and which one's your favorite. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like, and please consider giving me a sub if you like coaster content. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage, and my baseball channel if you also happen to be a baseball fan. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.